My dad's like, if you want to win again, I can teach you how to win again. We've got to put the phone off. We've got to get that mindset back. Get rid of everything that's happened in the last couple of months. Speak to someone properly. Get your mind right. It's nothing to do with your ability. You're the man.
Let's dive into the session with none other than Chad Leclerc.
WhatsApp Chad 2084 000 947 to receive a link to watch or listen to this intimate discussion with Chad Leclerc.
Welcome to your new day.
This is Early Breakfast with Africa Melane.
Let's shift gears to cycling now. Caroline Matsimela is the founder of Matsimela Ladies Clinics, talking to me on the line about helping women discover cycling. Caroline, a very good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Africa. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. How big is the community that you have built of women who are participating in cycling?
Sure. So, Matsimela Ladies started in 2020 during the midst of COVID. So, this is our 6th year. And every year we run a program where they come in and then they graduate and then they can then go and do what they need to do, join other clubs or whatever the case might be. So through that program, we have had 222 graduates until 2025. We're going to have our graduation now in September. But this is now the community of over like 200 women that are in there who are participating and doing different races and teaching others as well on how to cycle.
And who's inspired to come and join the Ladies Clinic?
So who is inspired is someone who has always maybe wanted to cycle, but they just don't know where to start. You know, I've got people who grew up having BMXs like myself when we were young. And then we have women who completely have never, ever even been on a bike. So we start teaching them from literally the grass on how to balance on the bike. And then we've got those that just need the skills on how to actually even participate in a race, for example. But the big thing is really the safety aspect, the learning, the fitness, and that community. They want to join other women to say it looks like fun. We want to also feel safe when we are with other women.
Because we all assume that the skill of cycling, like swimming, quite frankly, is something we'll all learn when we were children, right? I mean, I remember getting on my first, it wasn't my bike, but it was a neighbor's bike, and it had those sort of two wheels on the side at the back to help me sort of stay up, basically. We assume that people will all have access to that, but the reality is not true.
Yeah, especially for African women. So one of the myths, not even a myth, but practice that has been done is that as a woman or as a girl, you're not allowed to ride a bike because it will break your virginity. So there's also that myth that most women grew up with. So they never, the bicycle was for boys. But the girls needed to play with dolls or other stuff, but not the bicycle. And they will fall and, So it's some of these things are very much legendary, and we are breaking those barriers, and we're saying no. There isn't such a thing. So that's why we exist, right? It's just to also help women just try and do hard things. Some of them are, they join, maybe they used to run, but then maybe they had injuries. So cycling is another option that they've been given to start, but they just don't know how to ride.
And how would you respond to those ladies listening to this and thinking, well, I'm not healthy enough, I'm overweight, I don't think I will be good in cycling?
Yeah. So I think now it's easier because I've got referrals of women that I can also show. One of the heaviest lady that started was 135 kg, who learned how to ride, and she managed, and she lost all that weight. And I would say to them, don't wait until you feel ready, because it's more the feeling. So just take that first small step, just take that small step. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to also get the most expensive bike. You don't need to be incredibly fit. Yes, you're going to feel it. But you just start, and that's what we teach you in a very, very supporting community. I think that's the biggest thing. And I would say to them also, they must give themselves permission to be a beginner, because they come there as professionals and they think, okay, but I'm in charge, I'm a mother, or I'm a this, I'm already, I already do all these other things. And then you come there, you have to balance on the grass on how to ride a bike. So you must allow yourself that permission to be a beginner and learn.
You made reference to it a moment ago. It doesn't have to be the most expensive bike, because that becomes the other element, right?
Yeah.
Look, it was a fancy bicycle store that I went into, and I realized I could buy a small apartment for what they were charging for those bikes. One doesn't have to be riding around in a bike that's going to cost you a few hundreds of thousands of rands, do you?
Yeah. So absolutely. For me, in fact, it's like really, even when you start driving, you don't start with a expensive car, because you're still learning. You might make accidents or something. So for me, I also advise the same thing, that there are entry-level bikes, right, and which are more heavier and which are affordable, and it's good to start. And they actually help you as you get your fitness. Then as you advance, as you now start enjoying the cycling, you can always upgrade, resell, or donate to somebody else, or So I always say to the ladies, and we are actually working with Liv at the moment, which is a bike that is geometry made for women, by women and for women. So there are those partnerships that we have, and they actually understand our program, and they actually offer those bikes according to the ladies' budgets. So there's always a space for you. And we advise that ladies do have the bikes, because they can then practice on their own as well.
Yeah.
But if it's just a once-off, then you forget, because there's gears, there's brakes, there's, so there's a complexity also in it. So that's what we advise.
All right. You mentioned that you have a graduation in September. When is your next intake, and will people be able to find details on MatsimelaLadiesClinics.com?
Perfect, yes. So our next intake is actually open now on Women's Month. We opened on the 1st of August, and it is on our website on www.matsimelaladiesclinics.com. So they can register there. There's frequently asked questions on how often we train and where we are based and what do they need. So it's very, very easy, self-service. So we're looking forward to making the circle bigger for more women.
Yes, please. Caroline, thank you very much. Caroline Matsimela, founder of Matsimela Ladies Clinics. The next intake is open for application now. You can go to the website, matsimelaladiesclinics.com. And as Caroline says there, you'll be able to get all the frequently asked questions in terms of where, how often, what bike, all of that. Matsimelaladiesclinics.com. One word.